All right, this is just going to be a quick review of Game Room Solutions pinball cabinet. I haven't put the coin door in yet, but otherwise it's complete. So we're not reviewing the game, so I'm just going to go back. Matter of fact, we're just going to exit back to Windows here so we don't get bothered with all the music. Okay, so the cabinet, the T-molding, the buttons, joystick, back box. The legs were a separate purchase from a different company. Same thing with the screens and the speakers. So they have nothing to do with this. Okay, it is some type of press board. It's more like, it feels more like paper pressed together than actual wood, but it is sturdy. Didn't seem to have too much of a problem with it. All the holes came pre-drilled. The one thing I would have liked to have seen is the side that sticks up here laminated in some way so you don't get that odd color like that. I'm assuming that's not supposed to be flush right here, because it's got the twist lock joint thing under there, so you can't put it in any other way. A cover for this would be nice. You know, even just something that goes in under, you know, just rests on top just to cover that ugly hole. That didn't come with it. When they did include the controller, they actually removed the instructions from the box, which is odd because this is obviously a controller from a kit that you can buy online. Because it comes with the controller board, and it's the same controller board as in the kit, but they removed it. Same thing with the with this lock right here, and you can't see it. Oh wait, right here. This part hanging down. They ripped the top off so you didn't know what brand it was, which is really odd. Don't understand why they would do that. There is a cut right here. I can feel it. You can't really see me pushing in, but there's a triangle cut there for the plunger. Okay, this up here is not quite flush. It goes over to flush, and then it becomes off-centered over here. Now you can't move this back box because there's two bolt holes here and two over there, and they're pretty much the size of the bolt, so there's no movement back and forth. Let's see here. This piece along the back, this T-molding here, that board that this is connected to, they cut wrong. The board itself is cut right, but they notched it, the T-molding notch. The T-molding notch, they cut it on the other side. I tried putting this board in the other way, but the holes don't line up, so then I can't mount the back box. So what I did was I took the T-molding, and do I have a piece over here? Yes. So I took the T-molding and I cut this piece off all the way, and then I just glued it in place. Okay, so we take the back box down, or the open. They shorted me one of these. It's one of those right there. It wasn't worth going after them for. So what I did was I took a bolt and cut the head off the bolt, and cut or shaved off the threads so it would fit in the hole. So now it actually opens and closes smoothly. Let's see here. Back here you can see that my TV doesn't quite fit in their setting. So what I did was I notched another piece up top to be able to put the 4 in, because their instructions tell you to only use 2. Yeah, sorry about your luck, but I'm not gonna mount a 32-inch screen with just 2 bolts when the weight is actually coming down like this. Yeah, so you know that's a lot of stress on the plastic and inserts that hold it up. So made that second setup there. Otherwise, it went together fairly smoothly. You can see there's no bottom like notch for that plexiglass to fit in. It's not a huge deal, you know. They didn't provide any screws for this screen back here, which the screen they didn't provide, but they did provide double-sided tape, which is really odd. I mean, it holds it in, but you figured they would have come up with some kind of little clamp or something that you could have just screwed in place, so that way you could take it out and put it back in. Okay, so that's the back box. Otherwise, it went together fairly well, but you can see that, you know, I didn't over tighten anything, and there's really nothing here to tighten, and you can tell it's already cracked right here. What I would have liked to have seen is maybe a small pack of wood glue for like half the side or something. One of the biggest complaints I actually have is if this TV goes out, there is absolutely no way to replace this without taking the whole thing apart. I have to take the back box off, lay it on its side, loosen all the little quick cams, and take this entire side off in order to be able to drop that TV. That I do not like. Because the TV is actually mounted the same as back here. Obviously it's, you know, laying on top of it, so 2 screws are fine, but it's laying on top of it, and there's no way to take these cams out and take this piece off. Like the back box, if this 32-inch goes out, I have to take this side off to get this TV out. That I'm not a fan of, because that is a lot of work to take this thing apart, because it's pretty big and it is pretty heavy, and I don't want to go disconnecting everything, because then I have to take the computer out of the back. Unlike most people, I didn't put it in a case. It's not actually mounted yet. I'm just kind of cleaning up some of the cabling and seeing where I want to set stuff, but I'm going to leave it outside of a case. So let's see, what else? I think that's pretty much it. For the most part, it went together fairly well. I mean, some of the T-molding doesn't line up perfect with the wood right here. You know, the channel's off a little bit, because you can see, since it's T-molding, it goes in a channel. Well, I certainly can't put it in a channel over here when, you know. So that's not a huge deal, but it's just a little stuff. You know, it's something you need to consider, you know, if you want to get one. Let's see here, there's a notable gap right here. It gets flush over here, and then you can see it expands as you go across. You know, the T-molding like covers it over here, but not here in the middle. Okay. Like I said, I think that's about it. I don't really see much of anything. Now, if you get their LED buttons, they provide these, I know it's dark in here, they provide these like daisy chain wires for the lights and for the ground, but it's not long enough. You cannot go from this button to this button to this button to this button to that button to that one to that one, and then to the controller up in there. At least I think that's where it was. Yeah, that's where it's at. You can't get to that controller because it's just not long enough. I think they need to add like another 1.5 inches to 2 inches, and then you'll be fine. It's not a huge deal. You know, I have enough tools and wiring and stuff here, but you know, for someone who doesn't work with electronics, that's going to be a problem. I have almost all this stuff laying around the house. So, let's see, I think... Oh, when you buy the feet are not provided by the company. You have to go to another company. Keep in mind that the actual leveling part, those are separate. They do not come with the legs. So, you know, my machine has to pretty much stay here unless I put something underneath, because I don't want to slide it back and forth on my tile floor without any type of plastic protection or something. So don't forget to order those if you order these legs. I do have the back piece. It's right here. So they do provide you with a back cover for here, and it pops right on. It fits right in here. It goes right in these holes are already there. Oh yeah, speaking of that, I pointed this out. that, and this. That closes up, and you're supposed to reach through the hole and twist it to lock that up in place. Yeah, the holes do not line up. You can get it to where you can turn it, but then you'll never get it open again. I had to take a screwdriver in there, and I actually ended up using a, can't really see it. I'm trying to get down here so you can see it, but I had to take a Dremel and cut this notch higher, so that way I could actually use it. I mean, you could mess around and re-drill holes and put it in new places, but for me it was easier just to make that hole longer, because you're turning it, you're not going up and down, you're going sideways with it to lock it in place. So going up and down, you can make it longer and be okay with it. So all right, I don't think there's anything else to cover. I mean, you can see that it looks nice from here. That little gap that I was talking about, you really can't see it. It blends in well. It definitely holds a 32-inch TV. This is a 15.6-inch widescreen laptop screen. They give you a link on their website where you can order one of these if you don't have one. If you have an old laptop, you can just order the controller board and take the screen out of the laptop. You don't have to purchase a new screen. And then, of course, I got a 43-inch LG here. You can barely see it sticking out over there. I need to slide it over just a little bit, but you really can't tell when you're playing. You don't look for stuff like that. So, all right. If you have any questions, let me know. I think I covered just about everything. They give you more than enough T-molding to do the whole thing. I actually did this entire strip and that strip and forgot, and I just cut it right here, and then I put another one. And then, then I was like, wait a minute, if I cut a notch on the T part, cut it out, I can fold it over. So they gave me enough to be able to actually redo these and do them correctly and still have some left over. Not just that little strip I showed you, but I have this big piece still left over. And I've got T-molding on everything on here that, where you're supposed to put it. So you can here's another spot. You can see that, it's kind of flush right here at the top, then it sticks out. Now, none of this stuff can be adjusted because it's the cam lock stuff. It's got that cam lock with anyone that's put together like Souter furniture or something knows you've got the hole and the piece goes up and you stick your screwdriver in and twist it and it grabs it and locks it in place. So there is no adjustment to be made here. So the way you see it is the way it works. I mean, there's nothing I can do to readjust it. Oh yeah, here's they put a hole in here. They cover the holes. All the holes are covered. All the holes. You have to cut them out yourself. So the best way to do it is get yourself an extremely sharp knife. I would say get a razor blade. Start from the back. So you can, don't try to feel it from the front, like right over here. I know there's a hole. I don't want to poke it from here. Poke it from the back, poke a hole or two, and then take the blade from out front, and then you can just follow right along, and it'll cut it right open without a problem. I didn't tear mine at all. All the buttons look good in place. So it definitely works that way. Even here, you can tell I had to cut this out. You can tell that, my method actually worked great. Once you know where the edge is, you can just go around it from the top. So, all right, I will let everyone go. I'll stop rambling. I hope this covered enough for you.